Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages, cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980.
Hello and welcome, race fans, to I believe we're at South Boston Speedway with the Maritime iRacing League tonight with, I believe this is the Gary Mercer Trucking 150. Again, I am Dakota Herman, joined by Michael Keaton, John Wessling, hanging around in the production studios, pushing the buttons on the cameras and whatnot. And tonight we are again ETV Live, probably the HD Radio Network, but Keaton here with the Maritime iRacing League once again. Short track racing at its finest with the late models. Short track's a lot of fun here.
Yep, and you mentioned it, South Boston Speedway, a track that's just under half of a mile with a slight bank in the corners here tonight, Dakota. We're going to see some fast racing, and these guys have already showed how fast they are in practice with 15.1s, and then we'll filter down into the 15.2s and the 3s, but most everybody on pace here tonight, 23 drivers taking practice time so far.
Now, when we talk short tracks in the Maritime iRacing League, the last short track they were at was the last one on basically everyone on the circuit, but the last one we were at was actually Bristol Motor Speedway, where Jake Goodwin was able to win the race after starting 6th, kind of became dominant the last part of the race, led the last 26 laps, had a really strong car, did a fantastic job. Was about a 10th overall off the hot lap speed, but man, he really had the car down in the long run. Carter Wilson, who would be the fastest car of the night with a 15.366 in the hot lap, basically leading 95 laps, would finish 2nd. Steve Matthews came home in the 3rd position after starting from the pole and leading 14 laps. Ricky Arbeau would come back, I believe, from a little bit of damage and finish 4th. He would be 1 lap down, and rounding out the top 5 was Kevin Savory, who finished 5th in the number 88 machine after starting 18th.
The man who would finish 6th in the 44 car was Doug Hubley. So his next 7th would be Tim Terry. A good finish for him. Tim Terry, that might be at least 1 or 2 of his fascinating top 10s this season. Jeff Gilmet in that 12 car finished 8th. Blake Cullicutt in the 50 machine finished 9th, 7 laps down. And Craig Weagle would start 17th, would finish in the top 10 and 10th spot in that 08 machine.
And it was a very fantastic race. I believe only the top 3 finishing on the lead lap. It was interesting for sure. Everything was shaken up that whole race. It was really cool to see Jake Goodwin sneak away with the win. But now moving on to the point standings as we're heading into South Boston Speedway. Ricky Arbeau currently has the points lead by over 60 points, actually 60 points to be exact, of Jake Goodwin. Steve Matthews sits in 3rd position. He has a total of 849 points. Carter Wilson sitting in 4th, and Ronald McKay, also known as Ronnie, sitting in the 5th position.
Vic Greenwood, the 56-year-old, sitting 6th in the points. Tracy Foster, the Deuce, sitting 7th. Mike Rhino, man who's out of Halifax, Nova Scotia, 40 years old, average start this year 15th, average finish 13th. That'll net him in the 8th position in points. Mark Williams, 24 machine, puts him 9th. And Martin Landry, last week at Bristol, disappointing event, is 9th in the points, Dakota, tied with Mark Williams. And also tied, three-way tie here for 9th position, if you will, would be Nathan Daugherty, or Nathan Doherty.
Yeah, that's kind of cool to see a three-way tie like that. That's something unique, for sure. But, and I know Keaton actually has what it was like last year, with the Maritime iRacing League at South Boston Speedway.
Yeah, top 5 that are in points currently right now, Dakota. I wanted to go over where they finished last time out here at South Boston. Ricky Arbeau finished 12th, started 22nd. Ricky led 0 laps, but had an average speed of 24.975, which would have been the second quickest on the board. Jake Goodwin, man who's second in points, as Dakota mentioned, finished 3rd last time out at South Boston, and he started on the pole. Fastest lap of the race for him, 15.442. He would have been the fastest on the racetrack that night. 3rd in points, as you mentioned, Dakota, Steve Matthews finished 2nd to Ronnie McKay. Led the most laps with 52. Carter Wilson couldn't get it going, finished 19th, started 24th, and ended up 27 laps down. And again, I mentioned Ronald McKay. He won the race, Dakota. One of the fastest lap average time of the race, 25.011, just outside of Ricky Arbeau. Ronnie McKay led 40 laps. So Ronald McKay, I guess, could be the favorite here tonight. The only one outside finishing the top 5 that night, or top 13 that night, Dakota, would have been Carter Wilson in 19th, 27 laps down. Let's see if he can turn things around, his luck around at South Boston tonight.
Yeah, but it's been a while since last season. Things have changed. Cars have changed. Tires have changed. And the leader on the scoreboard has changed. Just looking at practice times here, Ronald McKay, who, as you said, was really, really strong last season, is currently running 4th in the practice times at a 2.20, a 15.220. The leader, they're both tied for 1st and 2nd, Ricky Arbeau and Stephen Matthews. Jake Goodwin sitting 3rd on the board as well.
And that is pretty quick. You know, compared to last time out here at South Boston, which would have been around, I think it was Dakota, South Boston was the 4th race of the season. And times seem to be kind of similar. You know, Ricky Arbeau with the fastest lap currently, as you mentioned, tied with Stephen Matthews, 15.165 for the pair of them. And compared to last time out at South Boston's average speed of the race was around 24 seconds. So there's a big difference.
Yeah, wondering where that difference was.
Oh, I'm sorry. 15.4s was some of the fastest laps of the race. 24s was the average lap of the race of Dakota. Remember, you got caution laps that are calculated into that stat there, so that's the confusion there. But fastest lap of the race was a 15.4 last time out at South Boston. As you mentioned, a tire change, some other deals with the setups going on, and now we're seeing 15.1. So it could be a faster race tonight.
It very well could be. A lot of the top cars, the big stock cars, at times have kind of slowed down from what they would be last season. Maybe they've sped up in these things. That's what's probably been a challenge for a lot of these drivers in preparing for what to do at a track like this. And I know a lot of drivers having problems getting the car to rotate all the way to the corner. I've been hearing it's really easy to over-rotate off the corner, but man, getting into the corner, we might see a little bit of action tonight. Cars pushing up, making contact. It's going to be short track racing at its finest, as it always is with the Maritime iRacing League.
Absolutely, and as I guess the track is now being closed, Dakota, we're going to have Heat 1 tonight, which is going to be 10 laps, of course, the usual. Heat 2, also consistent of 10 laps, and then a Heat 3, where we'll also see the last bit of drivers throw their cars into the turns here tonight at South Boston, and it will also be 10 laps. And then, as you mentioned, the Gary Mercer 150, the big one, the 150-lap event here at South Boston, will be coming up after Heat race number 3. Looking forward to it.
Everybody is. So we're, I believe, getting our Heat race number 1 gridded up. It's going to be an interesting race here, but it will be Ricky Arbeau and Stephen Matthews, or not Stephen Matthews, Ronald McKay making up the first row, I do believe, Keaton.
And then the 6 of Nathan Doherty will make up that second row. The 20 to his outside of Martin Landry.
You'll have Don Steves on the outside of the next row, and on the inside, Tracy Foster in the 2.
And then the last row, the 11 of Vic Greenwood. Remember Vic, the 56-year-old out of Cavendish, Prince Edward Island, with an average finish so far this season just outside 10th in 11th. So Vic Greenwood always doing a good job here in the MIRL. And then to his outside tonight, Dakota, the 67 of Dylan Blinkhorn.
And I do believe Dylan will not be joining us at the beginning of the race. He'll be joining us a little bit later on, probably about the feature race. I understand he's off having a little bit of family time.
And then, of course, too, remember the 22 machine of Keith Mack on probation for the complete 2013 spring late model season for unsportsmanlike conduct towards other races and admins, abuse of chat privileges, and foul language. And then, of course, the 42 of Dylan Duvall, also part of that probation for the completion of 2013 MIRL season for unsportsmanlike conduct. But I do not see the 42 here tonight. But, however, the 22 of Keith Mack is here. Keep an eye on him as the field runs out into turn 3, Dakota, for the
Yeah, we haven't seen Dylan since he won, and also being suspended this week was Travis Roma for the week. But green flag is out. Ricky Arbeau taking the green flag, and it is number 61 late model, and he's off and away here to a pretty good start. He has Ronald McKay on the bumper. McKay gets loose. He might get the wall a little bit there, but back up pursuit on the number 61 machine.
So far, single file, 1 lap complete here at South Boston. Ricky Arbeau's out front in the 61. The black machine, the 97, belongs to Ronald McKay. And then Martin Landry's in third. Martin's got that good-looking car out there tonight, Dakota.
Yes, it does. And I'm looking, how about right in front of Martin, the 97 Target car. Interesting version. And behind him, pink numbers on the number 20.
Yeah, the Target kind of throws you off a little bit, you know, with the blue and green paint scheme. But it could be a whole nother ball game up in eastern Canada, where most of, or not all, or all these drivers are out of eastern Canada, just different parts. You got some sporting the Prince Edward Islands parts, the Halifax, Nova Scotia. You got Amherst, Fredericton, New Brunswick, from all over.
And again, we are here with the Gary Mercer Trucking 150 here, just about halfway into heat race number 1 as we watch Ronald McKay trailing on Ricky Arbeau. He's kind of getting there. He's to the bumper, but I don't know that he can do anything here. He's there. He's just not carrying enough speed. He can't find that gap, I don't think, either. It's going to be difficult to pass here. So now I think we can see, as you see these guys pushing up the center and trying to diamond the corner as we go back to the battle for third, Michael Keaton.
And this is the battle with the 6th machine and 20 of Martin Landry, who's just now fallen back to 5th. He's now got Tracy Foster, the deuce, on the inside of his machine. Vic Greenwood's also there. Martin Landry's in trouble. He's going to try to hang it out on the outside, and he will, Dakota. Power move off 4 into 1. He's going to keep 5th.
Hanging on back there.
And, of course, the 6 of Nathan Doherty just got around him on the inside, and here comes Tracy Foster back sneaking on the front stretch underneath the 20 of Landry. Landry's going to have to roll out the throttle and try to make it work, and that Speedway Miramichi New Brunswick Chevrolet of Tracy Foster.
2 laps remaining for the leaders here as we watch Tracy Foster still trying to get on the inside of Martin Landry here. Foster's there. He's got to back up. He's got to run. He's going to check up. He will lose it, I think. Up front, looks like white flag coming out. Ricky Arbeau still leading the way. Ronald McKay right on the bumper still. Will these guys just take 1-2, or will McKay try to make something work? Here they come off of turn number 2 for the final time, going into turn number 3. McKay to the bumper. He's not going to touch. He's going to let him go. It will be Ricky Arbeau and Ronald McKay taking heat number 1. Nathan Doherty coming home in the 3rd position.
And the 4th place finisher, almost a photo finish there at the line between Martin Landry and Tracy Foster, but it will be the 20 of Martin Landry who will take home 4th. Tracy Foster is going to round out the top 5.
And now we'll be getting set for heat race number 2, but now we try to get Ricky Arbeau on the radio. For
Ricky Arbeau again, the 26-year-old out of Fredericton, New Brunswick. Talked to him before the race started tonight. Average start 5th, average finish 5th. And Dakota, you're standing by with Ricky Arbeau, who's pretty excited to win heat race number 1.
And Ricky, we've seen you before. We've seen you win heat race number 1, and then win the feature race. Is that something we'll see again tonight? You going on and dominating? It definitely looks like a track position deal tonight.
Well, it's all about the track position tonight. You know, I'm always focused on the big picture. You know, I always like to win if the opportunity's there. But right now, tonight's points. You know, we're getting close to the end of the season. I just want to finish these races and come home with a clean run.
And is fuel strategy, tire strategy, is any of that going to come and play a role in this feature race?
You know, tires is always good, and I'm always full of gas. I like the fuel in the car for the weight. It helps with the wedge of the car, and you know, as the run goes on, I like to keep the fuel in it. But in terms of tires, this track is a little harder on tires than we're used to. So you're probably going to see the guys in the top 10 taking 4. If you're any further back, like 6th or 7th place, I'd be scared to sit there on the jack because you might go a lap down.
All right, thank you, Ricky, and good luck in your feature race there.
And 4 guys, thanks.
And again, Ricky, we'll be starting from P1 when it comes to the feature race due to winning heat race number 1. But now we get set. We're rolling here for heat race number 2. Steve Matthews and Kevin Savory make up the first row.
And then it'll be the 18 of Chuck Morehouse, and then the 44 of Doug Hubley.
Tim Terry and Jared Butcher will make up the next row.
And the last row of heat race number 2 will be the 57 of Jeff Gilmore, no relation to Happy. And then the 08 of Craig Wiggle.
Yeah, it looks like Craig Wiggle will not be joining us here for this heat race. We may see him in the feature race. We'll have to keep our eye on that. But here we go, getting set for green flag racing here at South Boston once again. Green flag is out. Stephen Matthews getting a pretty good jump on the 88 of Kevin Savory. He's already away.
Remember, race number 4 of the season in the series of MIRL South Boston Speedway, Stephen Matthews would finish 2nd to Ronald McKay. Stephen Matthews would lead the most laps with 52 led, Dakota, and here he is leading now in heat race number 2.
Back at the 3 of Jarrett Butcher. He was working the inside of the 18. I want to say Chuck Morehouse. And he gets sideways. 3 saves it. Tim Terry now coming to the outside lane. Tim's carrying a lot of momentum. He's going to be to the door, the bumper, and it looks like the 3 will prevail. That is Butcher once again, who was stuck on the inside. Terry definitely looking to get around the 3 here. The 3 a little out of control when it comes to getting off these corners. And now Terry gets loose, saves it, and he's got company on the outside. 57.
And the 57 is Jeff Gilmore. Again, no relation to Happy. But those 2 yellow cars are battling it out as Terry down to the bottom of the apron inside. Going to get loose, but saves it. And now Gilmore's to the high side down into 1 and 2.
Yeah, it looks like Terry didn't want to run into the 3 of Jarrett Butcher, so he had to kind of brake really hard because he was right on the bumper, right on the fender. And when he did that, it really just nearly spun the car to the inside. Good job by Tim Terry on saving that machine. And he's throwing the car in there. You see him pushing way up.
Tim got a big face of oh boy there from Jarrett Butcher. Almost got into the back of him. And then the 57 of Jeff Gilmore's getting a whole face of Hi Lindsay. It's all over the back deck lid of Tim Terry's machine as Tim Terry's going to get into Butcher. In turn 2, Dakota, did you see the short track racing style Eastern Canadian?
And there goes 57 right around Terry. So Tim Terry way off the pace now.
And again, oh boy, the 3 of Butcher around. Tim Terry up 1 spot. In front of him, Gilmore. He got around him. And you've got, ahead of them, Chuck Morehouse, Dakota. Smoke in the air.
Jared Butcher spun by himself. Going in 3, or I believe that was 1 and 2. He spun by himself, and Steve Matthews closing on him pretty quick. He ended up getting down underneath the apron. Which would save Steve Matthews from trouble, as we now have 2 laps remaining, and he's all the way up to the 3 already.
There's the E-Wine, Dakota. Tim Terry shoving the old boy 3 machine of Butcher up to the track in turns 2, and Tim Terry will take over that spot. But, like you said, with the white flag coming out this time, Stephen Matthews, he's got Jarrett Butcher in front of him.
Yeah, he's coming. White flag is out. As long as the 3 can hold control of his car, I don't think he'll have a problem. As the checkered flag is out, Stephen Matthews will finish in the lead position. He will win heat race number 2. You'll have Kevin Savory coming home in the 2nd position, and Doug Hublet bringing it home 3rd.
And again, Steve Matthews doing a fine job race number 4 here at South Boston Speedway. Here he is winning heat race number 2, Dakota. Heat race number 3 still ahead, and then the big one, the Gary Mercer 150. 150 laps set for the just under a half of a mile racetrack, South Boston Speedway. See if we can't get Stephen Matthews in here to tell us about his heat win before we get this heat 3 going.
And now joining us in the broadcast booth, heat race number 2 winner, Stephen Matthews. Keaton.
Stephen Matthews looking at heat or race number 4 of the season this year. You finished 2nd and led the most laps with 52. You just won heat race number 2. What's it looking like for this big Gary Mercer 150 event? A? Maybe I didn't finish with A. Well,
maybe some problems here.
Yeah, we're trying to get Stephen Matthews, but we're going to go ahead and now, Dakota, go through the lineup here as heat race number 3 beginning to roll off here. The 48, Jake Goodwin.
There he is.
Going to roll off the field first. The 34 machine is going to be up next, and that is Mike Rhino.
Yeah, we'll get to you in just a second here, Stephen. And Keith Mack and John Gahan will make up the next row with Blake Collicutt and Justin Doucette, and I believe we'll have Jeff Gilmet rounding out the field with 1 lap of pacing remaining. Keaton, take it away.
So Steve Matthews, welcome, good win there, heat race number 2. Let's talk about last time here at South Boston as the field gets set to go green here down the backstretch. You finished 2nd, but you would lead the most laps with 52 laps led. You just won heat race 2 again. How does that feel for you going into the big Gary Mercer 150 event?
Thanks, pretty good, Mike. We put a lot of practice in this week after that tire build and just tweaked on the setup. We had a good piece here last time we were here, so we just got to stay out of trouble tonight and hopefully finish off with the big W.
And again, Steve, we saw Jake Goodwin, who finished 3rd last time at South Boston with the fastest lap of the race, 15.442. We've already seen quicker lap times in practice and in this race so far. So, like you mentioned, with the new tire build, how does that go into effect tonight in the big race?
I find this tire build here, you got to really manage your tires a lot more than the previous. You got to really, save your stuff for the end and go after it with 10, 15 to go.
Well, there you have it, folks. The man who won a heat race 2 tonight. Good luck today in the big one, Steve.
Thanks, Mike.
Now Jake Goodwin, Dakota, out front. Remember, Jake Goodwin last time out at South Boston finished 3rd and had the fastest lap of the race and started on the pole. Here he is out front in heat race number 3 with Keith Mack on the bottom.
Well, let me tell you, he's barely out front right now. He's barely got an engine left. He's barely got a car left. If you could have seen how sideways, I don't know if John had this pulled up, but he was sideways off of turn number 2, the first lap, I want to say, and he wheeled that thing, saved it. I mean, you could see the wheels cranking left and right. You don't have to look at his steering wheel. You could see the wheels underneath the car turning left and right, trying to save the thing. He saved it and kept going, holding on the lead right now, doing a fantastic job. I mean, that was a piece of driving, definitely, as we're not halfway, as Keith Mack now approaching the bumper here, the 48, looking for a hole.
How about this? The 34 machine of Mike Rhino, the guy who sits 8th in points with an average finish of 13th so far this season. That 40-year-old's wheeling that 34 machine around this racetrack. He's about half of a car length behind Mack.
Mack, he was almost making contact with the 48 to the center of just a corner or 2 ago. I mean, he was right on the bumper, nearly making contact if he wasn't. Mack is not afraid to bump. Remember, he is on, I believe, I want to say he's on, I can't think of it, but probation, that's it. He's on probation, I do believe, so we have to keep our eye on the 22. He's not allowed to really dump anybody right now, but he is on the bumper. The 48 looking low. 48's going to get in front of him still. Man.
Also, I want to remind you, Mike Rhino, who's in third, and Keith Mack, who's in second right now, trying to work the 48 CBC racing team. But these guys, Mack and Rhino, own teams together. Dakota, their teammates, Revolution Racing. And here comes Keith Mack to the bottom, maybe looking for that 48 room to give him, but he's not going to be able to get it. Turn 4, Dakota, the call is to you. 48's going to win.
Yep, white flag, checkered flag, it's over. Jay Goodwin bringing home the win with Keith Mack and Mike Rhino in line.
That's how you do it. Jake Goodwin again, second in points out of Amherst, Nova Scotia, just 24 years of age. The average start for Jake Goodwin in the event so far this season is 4th, and he finishes 3 spots back for an average finish of 7th. Jake Goodwin taking home heat race number 3, and now everyone's going to set their cars up for the big one, the Gary Mercer 150 here on Maritime iRacing League.
And joining us up in the broadcast booth, heat race number 3 winner, Jake Goodwin. And Jake, man, you were able to start from the pole, but you look like you had a lot of company there from the 22 all race long.
Yeah, he was giving me a hard time at the end. He was fast.
Now, I brought this up, and I think I spent about 2 laps talking about it. You were sideways. I want to say the first lap, the first corner, coming off the turn number 2. You were so sideways. You did just a heck of a job saving the thing. What was that like?
Yeah, I think I overdrove the first turn or whenever that happened, and then the tires weren't very happy after that.
Do you think that might have slowed you down the rest of the race there?
I'm hoping.
You got anything for these guys in the feature race here?
I'm not sure. Steve's looking pretty fast. I was watching the heat races there. He's probably the fastest one right now, but looked to be up there, that's for sure.
Alright, well, good luck in the feature race, man.
Yeah, thanks.
And that was Jake Goodwin. But for the first time tonight, we're going to go ahead, step away, take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with Green Flag Racing and the Gary Mercer Trucking 150 here at South Boston Speedway.
Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, Cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. If you're a serious online racing enthusiast, you need Derek Spear Design, maker of high-quality, custom-built, and 50 caliber strong simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top-shelf sim racing products reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, Cowboy.
And we're back live at South Boston Speedway with the Maritime iRacing League. Again, this is the Gary Mercer Trucking 150. I am Dakota Ehrman, joined again by Michael Keaton, who is having some technical difficulties. And again, South Boston, home of interesting racing. I think it's kind of hard to pass the front. We're going to see that in the feature race, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to see a lot of strategy and. You know, I think tires and fuel is going to be important. I know we said Ricky Arbo said he takes a full tank of fuel. He doesn't really worry about it. He has the ideal starting spot. So it's going to be, if he gets beat, it's going to be he gets wrecked or he's going to have to get beat on pit road getting tires or something of the sort. Again, it takes a long time to put fuel in these cars. That's why they pretty much start the race was enough to make it. But I'll tell you what, recapping the heat races, Ricky Arbo, Ronald McKay, and Nathan Doherty would be the top 3 finishers in heat race number 1. Heat race number 2 went to Stephen Matthews, Kevin Savory, and Doug Hubley. Heat race number 3 went to Jake Gilman, Keith Mack, and then Mike Rhino.
And again, Dakota, you mentioned South Boston Speedway, where it's a very, very small short track. Again, America's hometown track, but the Eastern Canadians, our most northernest neighbor, has made the drive and the flight down to South Boston, Virginia for this racetrack tonight that's sponsored by Gary Mercer Trucking. A track that was built in 1957, Dakota, pure asphalt. Again, just under half of a mile with a 12-degree turns and 10-degree straightaways. I told you it has a little bit of banking to it.
Can we get our production manager down here? I can hear Keaton's phone going off. Hearing Keaton is fired. Yeah. Here we are, though, still under final practice conditions here, getting set for the feature race. Again, 150 laps. It'll be an interesting one, but I do want to mention this is the Gary Mercer Trucking 150, and when we talk about Gary Mercer Trucking, dude, if your pickup truck is too small for the load, get a real truck to haul it. Sponsoring drivers in several iRacing official series, Gary Mercer Trucking Inc. provides long and short haul options for hauling furniture, perishables, even refrigerated products, and a whole lot more. With storage facilities in the U.S. and Canada, CTPAT approved and Fast Express drivers, Gary Mercer Trucking Inc. is the best choice to haul your load. Give the old pickup a rest. Call Gary Mercer Trucking Inc. 800-668-2980 or check it out at gmercer.com.
Absolutely, and 150 laps, just like you mentioned, the Gary Mercer 150 at South Boston Speedway, Dakota. Looking at the practice results for the first time go around, they're in happy hour currently, but Ricky Arbo and Stephen Matthews, remember they tied with the fastest lap of 15.165. Mind you that back in race number 4 of the season at South Boston Speedway, the fastest laps were 15.4s. So obviously South Boston Speedway a tick faster as qualifying has just now been opened. And we're going to see who is who after the qualifying.
And joining us up in the broadcast booth, it will be Tim Terry right now as he's just getting set to get ready to race the feature race, 150 laps here. Tim, man, you got anything for this feature race?
I don't know, guys. It's 150 laps. I'm just going to ride around and hope for the best, keep the car in one piece for the end of the race.
And, man, that heat race you were in was kind of tough for you. I mean, it looked like you were much faster than the 3 who you were racing. You just could not get around him.
Yeah, I felt bad for Jarrett. I apologize to Jarrett. I got in way too hot and just overshot my breaking point and got into him. Real good kid, so I'm hoping to have some fun and race him in the feature. So it's going to be exciting. 150 laps. I want to thank Gary Mercer Trucking for coming on board, and we're going to roll, I think, from like 14th place or something like that. Let the wrecks happen in front of us. Let's run for the first 125 laps, and if we have anything left, we'll show what we can do in this DeWalt Power Tools Stompin' Tom Connors High Lindsay Chevrolet.
And Tim, how hard is it to overdrive the corners at a place like South Boston? How hard is it to pass here?
I think at the end of the race you're going to see a little bit of bump and run. There's not two grooves in this racetrack. Easiest way to put it. If you go into the corner and you give somebody a shot, and as long as they can save it, you go up the racetrack a little bit, you're fine. But you're going to have to probably, in order to win the race, and I'm not going to be anywhere close to being up front to win this race, you might see a guy like that's running up front, running in second, maybe give the guy in front of him a little shot. Keep in mind there is an incident system in this league, so if they do that and cause a caution, they might get a couple of incident points. But if they have him to lose and he's going for a win, you might see some guys use the bumper. It might be exciting up front, and I think we saw it with the 61 and 97 in the heat race, the 34, the 22 in their heat race. This is going to be a real good race. This is going to be a good show tonight.
All right, thank you, Tim, and good luck in the feature race here.
Thank you, guys. Have fun.
Will do here as we're getting set just moments away, I do believe, from this feature race.
Just a little track stats for you here, Dakota. Track records here at South Boston Speedway. Again, we've been here once so far. Tonight will be the second go-around. But the NASCAR Whelen Modifieds, how about that? Track record, 14.409. Mike Ewansko with the fastest lap ever here at South Boston Speedway. Of course, these guys are over a second off that pace, Dakota, and race record is with Todd Bodine. Remember him?
Definitely do, but I tell you what, joining us up in the broadcast booth before he gets set for Green Flag Racing, it's the driver of the number 44 machine, Doug Hughley. And Doug, man, you finished third in heat race number 2. Can we expect to see you climb up to third or higher in this feature race?
I think I got pretty lucky in the heat race, but hopefully I expect the top 10 hopefully for the feature race.
And Doug, man, how is the car here for tonight?
The car seems to be decent, like it don't seem to be dropping off as much as it has the last time I ran here before.
Are you kind of excited for this feature race here?
Yeah, I'm just hoping with some luck we don't get caught up in nothing and survive it.
All right, man, and good luck to you in the feature race.
Thank you.
Now joining us in the broadcast booth, Dakota, before the big race starts, the Gary Mercer 150 at South Boston Speedway. Don Steves in the 01 machine, the young man, 66-year-old, going to be joining the race tonight. Don, how's the track condition look like tonight? It looks faster than it was last time here for about 4, 5, 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think it is faster. I'm not, but you know, it seems to, and it's close to having a second groove there.
Well, Don, we're going to get set for the anthem here. Go Green Flag Racing. Good luck, buddy.
Okay, thank you. You fellas have a good one.
Well, this might be kind of close. We're going to go ahead and go trackside for the national anthem, and we'll be right back again with the command, I do believe, as well.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons' command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
right, rolling off at the first position tonight will be Ricky Arbeau and Stephen Matthews rolling off second.
Jake Goodwin starting third tonight in that 48 machine. To his outside, the 97, Ronald McKay, who won at South Boston. He'll start fourth.
Rolling off in the fifth position, Kevin Savory, driver of the number 88 machine. On his outside, Keith Mack.
Nathan Doherty in the sixth, going to start seventh. The 44 of Doug Hubley rolls off eighth.
Mike Rhino going off in the ninth position, and Martin Landry in 10th.
The 18th car, 11th quickest tonight, that's Chuck Morehouse. Outside him in the 50, Blake Cullicutt.
Tracy Foster going to roll off in the 13th position, and Tim Terry in 14th.
Jeff Gilman at the 12th, going to roll off 15th. And the 56-year-old out of Cavendish, Prince Edward Island, Vic Greenwood, rolls off 16th.
Jeff Gilmore, not Gilmet, but Jeff Gilmore will roll off 17th with John Gahan on his outside.
And the oldest man in iRacing, the 66-year-old Don Steves, the 01 going to roll off 19th tonight. And to his outside, remember him? Oh boy, it's Jared Butcher.
Justin Doucette going to roll off in the 21st position, and rolling off 22nd, Ralph Probert.
Craig Weagle and Dylan Blankhorn going to make up the next row. And Dakota, green flag.
Green flag is out. Ricky Arbeau leading the way. Stephen Matthews following in line.
Single file, Dakota already the top 5, except for now Savory, who's got Keith Mack in the 22, the double deuce up high out of turn 2, but the front 4 single file.
I think that's what we will see here. Oh, Arbeau maybe get a little sideways. He saves it though. He'll be all right. He's still going. Caution's out.
Caution's going to come out 12th position, Dakota. The 18 getting into the 50 there. And the 18 of Chuck Morehouse is just going to lose it. And I believe that's what's going to cause this caution to come out.
Well, I'm not sure, because at the same time I see the 99 of Tim Terry around.
Yeah, I see that too. 99 of Tim Terry was around, and
after the incident, I believe.
After the incident, actually, yep, the 12 got into him a little bit. It looked like they're Jeff Gilmet.
Yeah,
so
he's rolling. And, yeah, Gilmet just comes up and turns to 99. Not much contact made. No contact made with the wall. Just a little bit with the car, and he goes. Yeah, he's all right.
The man who suffered the most damage in that incident, total-wise, was Blake Cullicutt, Dakota, in the 50 machine down on pit road. The crew having to go to work on that car real early. It's got to be disappointing. He's already 1 lap down with 21 drivers on the lead lap.
And we are tasting here once again, or not once again, for the first time here at South Boston Speedway. I want to talk to Ricky Arbeau, though. I think we should get Ricky Arbeau on the radio. I'll tell you what, man, he looked a little free at first. I don't know. That's something we've seen from a few of the first cars to dive into turn number 1 and 2. So I don't know. Maybe there's a problem with the clean air, or don't know what's going on. But Ricky Arbeau on the radio. Ricky, man, this is Dakota Ehrman. You got a copy?
Yeah, 10-4.
And man, you looked a little free. I started coming off of turn number 2, the first lap, I want to say, a little sideways maybe, and saved it, kept going, holding your spot. Is the car going to be like that on the restarts?
It's a little on the free side the first couple laps on cold tires, but it's the way I got it set. That's what I didn't do in the heat race. I made a change for when I went in the heat race, and it went real tight, so I decided to take the better route and free the thing up a little bit, and it'll come to me. Just some green flag laps in here, and we'll hopefully pull away a little bit.
Are you concerned at all with Steve Matthews? I know we heard from one of the drivers that Steve Matthews might be the car to beat here.
Yeah, he looks like he's got a good car. It's a good competition here. It's what I love the most. It can't be easy. It's good racing, so I like.
All right, good luck, man.
10-4. Enjoy the show, guys.
And that was the second time you've heard from Ricky Arbeau tonight after winning heat number 1, starting from the pole, getting a little free, so we thought we'd bring it back in. We're getting set for green flag racing once again.
And here we go, Ricky Arbeau to the inside. The 98 I thought was going to be able to make the pass on the high side, but Dakota, not the case.
Yeah, not the case. He's hanging on there. Oh, Arbeau got slid up. Here comes Matthews on the inside. Not quite. Here we go. Arbeau going back to the inside. He's still there. He's got the inside lane. He's protecting it, but man, Matthews is coming strong all over the bumper of the 61. He wants to go. He doesn't want to wait here. He's still coming.
Stephen Matthews, remember, last time out here finished second, leading the most laps, 52 led. He's hungry for more, but Ricky Arbeau, the man who didn't lead any laps last time at South Boston, is out front and has led every single one of them.
He has so far, but he might not much longer. I'm telling you, Steve Matthews raw all over the bumper of that number 61 machine right now for the lead. I think it's just a matter of him being patient right now, and he's given the 61 a little bit of time. Already 13 laps into this event, one caution, and we're still green flag racing here. Going back a little further back in the field, looking to see. I see a lot of single file racing is trying to find the line. I believe go back all the way to I do want to say Jarrett Butcher in the 14th position. Again, struggled in his heat race, got turned, I do believe, by Tim Terry on accident. And now you see the 3 working in 14th position, trying to get underneath the 57. That's 57 of Jeff Gilmore, not Jeff Gilmet. Gilmore, he's hanging there strong too. His caution has come out once again. Oh, I see the 18 of Chuck Morehouse turned around to 18th position. Looks like it is the 18 and 18th position. Lap 14 coming off of turn number 2. He'll come up and just collect the 01 of Don Steves a little bit, just hits him a little bit, goes down, gets the inside wall, and turns the car around in the middle of the backstretch.
He's going to suffer a lot of damage, Dakota. Right rear quarter panel's all banged out. The left front of that machine tore up. Chuck Morehouse going to have to get that car down on pit road, and the bad thing about it, Dakota, only takes about 20-something seconds to get around here under pace speed, 20 to 25 seconds. So that's going to be interesting.
It definitely will. We'll have to keep our eye on that.
About 27 seconds.
Yeah,
but
the 18 not working around.
Seconds.
And now Chuck Morehouse bringing it down pit road, coming into a stall, stopping. I believe we're not seeing the right sides are going up. It's just taking a long time to get those right sides up. As now they are going down, or extremely slow pit stop here, but I think that's what we expect with the late models. So now his left sides go up. It will be a 4-tire call, as he has now been lapped and put 1 lap down. And that is the dangerous thing when it comes to the pace laps and pitting for tires. Unless you're the leader, you're not really safe. Sometimes you have to take 2 tires and come in and get the other 2, but it happens. It's just a short track thing that we have to deal with here, really. A lot of the drivers, they don't like it, but just happens to be at a lot of tracks like this.
And now as you watch the E-Wine there, the 18, remember that's Chuck Morehouse. He's the white and yellow number car there. And he got into Don Steves, like you mentioned, right in front of Tim Terry. And that DeWalt machine of Tim Terry going to be able to avoid it. So will the 64 machine of Justin Doucette, as Chuck Morehouse, Dakota, going another lap down. That'll put 3 laps down for him. And Blake Cullycutt, back in that 50 machine, who was involved in the first wreck here at South Boston Speedway, is now 7 laps down.
Yeah, let's see, just those 2 cars laps down here. Early on last week, or 2 weeks ago at Bristol, only 3 cars finishing on the lead lap. Ricky Arbeau, the first one to finish a lap down. I believe he finished in 4th position, so Ricky rebounding from finishing a lap down, currently leading every lap of the race so far. As the pace car goes off, we get set to race. There goes Arbeau! Taking off, but he's still got company because Matthews is trying to hang in there on the outside.
How about this for a stat for you? The top 4 cars right now are top 5 in points. Now the 88 machine looks to try to change that. That's Kevin Savory. He's to the bottom, and he's underneath the 97 of Ronald McKay, who sits 5th in points. Now the battle is for front, though, Dakota, and the 98 to the outside of Arbeau.
You know, Keaton, sometimes I wonder what you're talking about, especially when you say that 4 cars are making up the top 5 in points.
Well, let's see here. The top 4 on the racetrack right now are 4 of the top 5 drivers in points. Ricky Arbeau's first, Jay Goodwin second, Matthews third, and then Ronald McKay is 5th in points. So top 4 were 4 out of top 5 in points. Does that make sense?
See, it makes more sense when you actually explain it rather than trying to say that 4 cars make up the top 5. But anyway, still racing side by side for the lead. Matthews has been on the outside of Arbeau for several laps now. Arbeau seems to almost get clear. And then comes Matthew once again. See, Matthew, I mean, he is hanging in there.
Still no credit for a lap lead for Matthews as he tries to hang on to the high side. Now Jake Goodwin in the 48 machine, part of CBC Racing, sticks his nose underneath. But he'll have to let out the throttle. Dakota, the 98 still stuck up there on the high side, but Arbeau stuck on the bottom, side by side in 3.
Yeah, Arbeau, he's hanging in there, but man, how about Matthews putting up doing a fantastic job of putting up and keeping up with the 61 of Arbeau. I mean, Matthews all the way on the outside. He's really got the car rolling. He's able to just keep the momentum up. It looks like Arbeau might pick up a lot of time through the center, but it looks like Matthews picks up more than that when it comes to corner exit. This is why track position is so important. If Arbeau was clear, he would have no problem. As you can see, these guys are about even right now. Here comes Matthews. He might clear, not quite, because there goes Arbeau back on the inside. A lot of momentum carried by the 61 as they're still door to door going at it for the lead.
How about 2 laps now completed that's been led by Steve Matthews at the line, Dakota. A couple of laps ago, Stephen Matthews got the first lap, and then the last time by, he got that lap, but now he'll have to follow behind Arbeau in 1.
Yeah, it looks like Arbeau was almost clear. He'll be door to door. He has to check up. There he goes. He's going to lose a lot of time having to check up so he doesn't run over. Looks like Steve Matthews now put them even closer going into turns number 3 and 4. Coming off 4, it is Matthews on the outside. Still looks like Matthews should lead the lap. Arbeau coming across the line second. They're still door to door.
Can Matthews pull out the high side pass here at South Boston? And 3 and 4, Dakota, he got real shaky, washed up the track, lost some momentum, but he gains it through the straightaway at the front stretch. Now into turn 1, Arbeau to the bottom, going to have to let out the throttle out of 2. Matthews with a head of steam in 3.
What a battle for the lead. Matthews refusing to give up. Looks like Arbeau might clear Matthews. Not quite. Matthews huge run on the outside. He's still trying to keep that 98 machine just on the outside. He knows he might have a chance if he can keep it out there. If he gets tucked up behind the 61, though, there goes that chance, I think. But, man, he is making a run. Here he comes on the outside with another run of momentum, but he cannot clear the 61. They're going to be door to door. Heading through turns 1 and 2 once again.
Something's got to give, because just up ahead to cut about a half of a turn away is Ralph Probert in the 25 machine. That's a lap down car nearly as he hits the wall on the inside. And Arbeau's going to be able to avoid him, but Robert crashed right in front of the leaders on the front stretch. And boy, is Ricky glad he kept it down low.
Yeah, wow, man. Wow.
That was close. 25 machine, who was running back there in, I believe, 22nd position.
Yeah, Ralph Probert, he's currently running in the 22nd position. Looks like he is 9 laps down. Will be coming off of turn number 3 here, lap 24, 22nd position, 25 car. Comes off of 3 and 4, just gets loose, goes down against the inside wall, and just so close to collecting the leaders there. Good job by the driver number 25 to keep the car off the track.
Leaders coming down pit road, well, except for the 98 and the 48 and the 88. Dakota, what a fake-out move that Matthews put on Ricky Arbeau, and I can't believe that those guys didn't pit in pursuit behind Arbeau as Arbeau down on pit road here. You know, that's got to make you wonder there, Dakota.
Definitely does, but tell you what, still pacing here at South Boston Speedway. We're going to go ahead and step away and take a quick commercial break. The first one for the race here so far, 36 laps into the event, 37. We'll be right back with a lot more green flag racing and hopefully a lot more fun.
Team Racing Series returns to ETV Live on Tuesday nights following the Fast Track Racing Series radio show. After organizing a highly successful team series in 2010, Jerry Wolf is back with some kick butt, take no prisoners, team racing action like you have never seen before. The ATV Live Team Racing Series is sponsored by HD Radio Network, live on Tuesday nights from 9 p.m. Eastern. Don't wimp out, dude. Catch the action live at etv-eplay.net. Radio Network joined 5,000 plus other listeners where you could hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV Live sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks. HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
And we're back live. Blue went Green Flag Racing and had a big pileup once again. Currently, we were on about lap 41 at the time watching. It was Jared Butcher coming off of, I believe it's his turn number 4. He's in the 8th position of the number 3 car. Just comes up and him and the 21 make contact, or that's the 12 maybe, that will make contact in front of the field, spinning the 3 around. 3 will collect a number of cars, including Ricky Arbeau. Ricky Arbeau taking a hard hit. Don Steves got stopped entirely. The 3, Jarrett Butcher, would get stopped entirely. He would eventually get going again, but big mess there. Big mess.
Yeah, big mess. And as you mentioned, it started in 8th position, and you pointed it out. Ricky Arbeau tied up into the accident. Remember, he's first in points, and he struggled here last time at South Boston, week 4. The Eastern Canadians ventured out here, and Ricky finished 12th, but started 22nd, and here he is back in 13th. Remember, he pitted. He came down pit road, Dakota, and it might have cost him some.
It was definitely cost him. I want to say maybe he made changes or something, but he lost so much time, I think, that it just really put him in a bad spot. And as you see, he gets wrecked. He'll have, again, bad luck, it looks like, just trying to finish the race. He said at the start, maybe not comfortable in the setup, I don't know, but
Well, look, I mean, you know, you mentioned he's 60 points up. There's 3 official races to go, if I'm not mistaken, with the 4th being the All-Star race, and which is I don't believe for points, Dakota. So there's 3 official, and tonight, after tonight, well, there'll be 2 official races left. So, you know, he's real close to having this thing wrapped up, but, you know, to a degree, he's not out of the net. He's not out of the woods yet.
Yeah,
perhaps.
He's just got to finish the next few weeks. He seems to overcome a lot of adversity. You know, when he gets wrecked, he comes back somehow always. But pace car's off, getting set for Green Flag Racing. Steve Matthews on the outside gets a fantastic restart. Jay Goodwin on the inside, so they're door to door. Matthews takes the spot on the outside without a problem. That'll leave Jay Goodwin in second. It looks like Kevin Savory, Ronald McKay going at it for 3rd position. Looks like McKay will prevail. Now we watch Jay Goodwin creep onto the bumper of the 98 of Steve Matthews, looking for the spot. Ronald McKay there as well in 3rd position. We got ourselves a race once again.
And it is single file all the way back to about 9th position. And as you mentioned, now caution back out on the speedway. It's to Jeff Gilmet. And Blake Collicutt, I believe, reckon at the same time. Like the 50, who's in 21st, wrecked up just ahead. And then, the 12th car came in. Jeff came in and just took out the front end of that car, and he went for a ride.
Yeah, we're watching this. Blake Collicutt, 21st position, car number 50, lap 34, coming off of turn number 2. Will just come straight up into the 94. That looks like the 64. Will spin his car around. He'll get hit by the Jeff Gilmet machine, and that will probably put more of an end towards their night, or maybe kill their luck, kill the car, something of the sort. Definitely won't see these guys running up front. I don't think that'll definitely damage the cars.
So that'll help Ricky Arbeau out a little bit as Jarrett Butcher puts his Chevrolet down into the garage area. And then again, Ralph is out with about 23 laps down. Blake Cullicutt, who just got involved with that wreck, is 15 down, and Chuck Moore has 12. Don Steves 9 laps down. Doucette 7. So Dakota, the only guy he's got to worry about is behind him. That's Tim Terry, who's in 12th, and that's the last person on the lead lap.
Tim, man, barely missed the wreck 2 cautions ago. He's currently on pit road. Looks like he's coming off now, trying to make sure he beats the pace car off. Driving to the stalls there, as you see. He will get out, it looks like maybe in front of Jeff Gilmet now.
We saw Ricky Arbeau also hitting the pit stops here under caution, getting the damage fixed on that machine. He was involved in the wreck that we just seen a caution ago, not the last time, not this last caution, but a caution before that. And he's still got some extensive work to do on that car, Dakota, before he's probably up to speed.
Most likely, but Ricky Arbeau has done a fantastic job all season of coming back. He's the one to watch come back to the field. A lot of cars with damage that can get these things fixed and still come back up. We'll just have to see. Right now, Martin Landry currently sitting the first car 1 lap down. He'll be the lucky dog when we go back green flag racing this time, or next caution that is. But lucky dog this caution was Keith Mack in the 22.
So the lights are off the pace car, Dakota, and the 98 machine going to lead us back to green flag with the 48 car. Out beside him, 2 teammates, part of CBC Racing, as they go into turn 2.
Yeah, still side by side. Goodwin on the outside. Matthews gets loose. It's still Goodwin on the outside, hanging in there, carrying a lot of momentum, but he will lose it through the center, and that will put him back 2 spots. And now Ronald McKay sitting in second position, looking to get around the 98 of Stephen Matthews.
And remember, the man in the middle of between the 2 teammates won last time at South Boston, Dakota. Also led 40 laps to his name. The man who led the most is sitting in front of him. Stephen Matthews is starting to pile him up.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's piling him up. It looks just about like it did before. Matthews has a strong car. Oh, as McKay gets sideways. These cars are a lot of fast cars. A lot of these guys running nearly identical setups. That'll make these things run, pretty similar lap times. So as long as they hit their marks, you'll see basically a big train of cars really here, at least in the top 2 or 3.
Still green flag racing. Remember, about 15 laps ago, Dakota, we had a huge green flag run. And now it looks like someone has just pancaked the wall on the backstretch. It was the 44 machine of Doug Hubley that was in 5th, and now he'll fall all the way back to 8th. And now Vic Greenwood now starts to work for that position, but Hubley hit the wall pretty hard there on the backstretch.
Ricky Arbeau currently sitting in the 8th position, I do believe. Is might be moved up because he's now around Tracy Foster. I don't know. He might not have a whole lot of damage because he's moving back up through the field here.
Well, he's got plenty of tape on it, that's for sure. The crew went to work during those caution laps, taking every bit of advantage of it that they could. And now we're hearing Jeff Gilmet has wheeled that machine down into the garage area, Dakota, and he is in his hauler.
Very unfortunate day there for the crew of the number 12 machine. And I do believe he will be gone. Yeah, he's done for the night entirely there, Keaton.
But we're still green flag racing. Lap 63 about to be completed. Nearly halfway home here in the Gary Mercer 150 at South Boston Speedway, a track that's just under half of a mile, Dakota. And an old track built in 1957 again. But Stephen Matthews still piling the laps up. He led the most last time here, looking to lead the most tonight. But the 97 of McKay, who won, is about a car length behind.
Yeah, McKay, man, is all over the bumper of the 98. It almost looks like Arbeau never left the front. It looks like now Arbeau and Matthews, how they looked at the beginning of the race, these two running similar to how they were running, with McKay all over the bumper of the 98.
Big battle going on right now for 5th spot, the 34 machine. Mike Rhino to the high side as the 16 gives way. That's John. And then to the high side, Ricky Arbeau. You know, I just saw the 16 machine racing my Rhino really hard, and just as soon as I go to comment it, he lets out the throttle, puts the hand out the window, and there goes Ricky Arbeau.
We don't want to hold up the points leader. I mean,
That's
Ricky
right.
Arbeau, he's trying to come to the field. He doesn't want these guys in the way. I'm sure he's built up a lot of respect with these guys, a lot of friendship, so I'm sure they're just letting him go. That could be playing into this. As you see Ricky Arbeau, he is now running down the 5th place car of Mike Rhino forward on that 34.
A little battle back here in Dakota for a 13th spot where Martin Landry runs. He's actually racing against the 64 of Justin Doucette, who's actually not for position. Justin Doucette 8 laps down. Martin Landry just 1 lap down, being the first car off the pace, 13th position for him. Tim Terry in the 99 machine sits 12th. He is on the lead lap, however, and he's just on the back door of Nathan Doherty for 11th.
Battle for 5th. Ricky Arbeau to the inside of Mike Rhino. Arbeau losing time. It looks like the battle for the lead did earlier, but Arbeau might be able to prevail here, so we'll watch him come off the corner. Rhino almost gets the wall, gets sideways, about even going into the corner. Arbeau carrying a little bit more momentum through the corner and off the corner. Arbeau has cleared Rhino, but Rhino coming back. Looks like Arbeau will take the shorter way around the track, and he'll be entirely clear. Should have no problem with the 34 now, as he is now clear of Mike Rhino, setting his sights on Kevin Savory and Jake Goodwin. New 5th place car.
A little bit of a battle there between those two, Dakota. Could it be that one being from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Mike Rhino, versus the 61 Ricky Arbeau out of Fredericton, New Brunswick? Both are from Eastern Canada, but those represent the cities, I guess you could call them, within the zones. I'll call them zones. They're called something. They're not states.
Provinces?
There we go.
I finally got something right, but I'll tell you what, battle for the lead. McKay's still on the bumper of Matthews. He is not going anywhere, Keaton.
No, he's not, Dakota. The 97 and the 98, you couldn't have stuck a feather between them earlier. Now they've separated a little bit, but here comes McKay. Looks like McKay might be better in 1 and 2, Dakota, and in 3 and 4, 98's better.
A lap around the track with Ronald McKay inside the car. Caution's out.
Caution is out on the Speedway, Dakota, and whatever it was, it got cleared up quick. It might have just been a car spinning, because I don't see anyone off pace or around here. Must have happened quick.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out exactly where. I don't see anything at all that even looks, anything. Oh, I see it now. I believe I see the culprit. It was Ricky Arbeau following Ronald McKay or not Ronald McKay, but Kevin Savory in the corner. This is the 5th place car, lap 75, going into turn number 3. Driver number 61 machine. Ricky Arbeau drives into the corner way too deep. Maybe he gets the 88. I think it was the 61 was comfortable. The 88 a little slower. That will put the 88 nearly around, and the 61 also nearly around. But both drivers will save it against Savory and Arbeau.
That brought the caution out?
That brought the caution out. That looks like the only incident in that whole little time frame. I guess it nearly spun 2 cars around, so it was found to be a caution by the officials.
Wow.
Hey, we're also seeing Arbeau and Goodwin on pit road here. Savory.
He did a fine job. Ricky did a fine job of keeping that car there. He almost hit the barrels that's filled with water or sand there, right at the entrance of pit road. Looks like sand. It is sand. The blue and white barrels that you see there, he almost got into them, Dakota, and that could have been bad.
He definitely did a fantastic job of missing them, but while we're pacing here at South Boston Speedway, lap 79 of 150, we're going to go ahead and step away, take a quick commercial break, and I'll be right back with more green flag racing action here in the Maritime iRacing League.
InsideSimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
And we're back live at South Boston Speedway. Green flag racing once again. Up front looks like Savory and, or not, that's not Savory, that's Goodwin and Vic Greenwood going at it. Greenwood must have stayed out. Now Goodwin going around Greenwood. It looks like Arbeau pinned behind Greenwood. There he goes, Keith Mack on the outside of the 11. The 98 also looking around to get around Vic Greenwood. Is Ricky Arbeau still caught in traffic behind that number 11 machine? You see Ricky Arbeau maybe looking at the outside. Not quite. He does not have the hole. This is really really slowing up. A lot of these front runners are getting forced to the back because they can't get to the outside. Oh! Almost contact. Matthews going the inside of Keith Mack up there. That will change hands for second position. And we still have this big stack up on the inside back here as we're going side by side.
And Keith Mack did a great job to kind of going up a lane there to avoid that, because that could have been bad. So Mack taking the better judgment there. He's sitting in third. Good spot for him. Savory, though, however, the 88 Ford's been up there all night. And again, he now looks underneath Mack in turn 2.
Yeah, there goes Savory. He's going to clear the 22 of Keith Mack. And now you have Ronald McKay looking to get around the inside of Keith Mack. As he can get a little sideways there, but he saves it. Still rolling. And looks like he will be able to carry the momentum. And here is Ricky Arbeau coming out of nowhere. He finally got past Vic Greenwood, looks like.
Yep, Vic Greenwood of sporting the 11 machine tonight again, as usual. As just in front of him, there's a big battle with Mike Rhino for 7th. And 22 with Mack. Wow, Mack's just going backwards here, Dakota.
I'm not sure what happened with the 22, but definitely going backwards in a hurry here. Up here, Ricky Arbeau has reclaimed, I do believe, the 5th position for himself. Ronald McKay sitting in 4th. Kevin Savory 3rd. Stephen Matthews and Jake Goodwin going at it for the lead, though. That's where the trouble is. As you can see, Matthews was on the bumper of the 48. Definitely letting him know he was there. As you see the 98 now looking maybe outside, maybe going to follow him in line here. I don't know. We'll have to see what the 98 does here, as he now is really swinging out coming off the corner. But he's coming.
And remember, folks, you are watching and tuned in to ETV's live coverage of the Maritime iRacing League, the Eastern Canadians racing around South Boston Speedway tonight. But if you don't have your racing fix after tonight, you can always catch Thursday night. The Thursday night Real Sim Racing Asphalt Assault Series, sponsored by Inside Sim Racing TV. Tomorrow night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, of course, Friday night, 9:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Super Speedway Cup Series gets started. And then next week at Martinsville, Monday night, the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series, sponsored by Bob Earl Racing for the 2nd year in a row. That gets kicked off at 9:30 Eastern Time. And then again Tuesday nights, 9 p.m., Team Style Racing with ETV's Team Racing Series, sponsored by the HD Radio Network. And again, folks, we mentioned Inside Sim Racing TV. Big race coming up with ETV Saturday, race at Michigan. That's going to get fired up at 3 p.m. And that is an official race. Part of iRacing's racing will be on ETV Live, as we are under caution. I apologize for not calling the caution as I was talking about that, but Dakota, we're under caution here.
Yep, the 50 car, position 18, going into turn number 1. That's Blake Collicutt. Will get turned around by the 64 of Justin Doucette. Looks like Justin just looking to the inside, maybe overdrove the corner quite a bit. You see these guys kind of going around. Maybe the 50 a little slow or something, I don't know. But watching almost 3 wide coming off of the corner before that, and you watch going into this corner, it looks like the 64 was just diving it in there and didn't have the room he needed, would make contact with the 50 of Blake Collicutt and put the 50 car around. Oh, in front of Leaders, too. Leaders had to cut it tight to get through that.
And that accident report brought to you by Bob Earl Racing, again, the proud sponsor of the 2013 Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. Bob Earl knows what it's like to be behind of a cockpit. He was a race car driver, and in fact, championship race car driver, Bob Earl. And who better than him to design your racing cockpit? He knows exactly what you want, and it features a fully adjustable seat and frame, additional monitor and stand, a shifter that can be bought separately. Proud sponsor again, 2013 Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series. High quality and affordable virtual racing cockpit, priced at just $349 plus shipping. See it today at bobearlracing.com.
And another sponsor here, again, Gary Mercer Trucking, because this is Gary Mercer Trucking 150, providing a lot of haulers here tonight for a lot of these wrecked race cars, Keaton.
Yeah, and of course, again, if your pickup's too small for the load, do exactly what Dakota said. Get a real truck to haul it. Gary Mercer Trucking, sponsoring drivers in several iRacing official series, Dakota, even pro drivers. Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated provides long and short haul options for hauling furniture, perishables, even refrigerated products, and a whole lot more with storage facilities in the United States and, you heard it, Canada. CTP AT approved and fast express drivers. Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the best choice to haul your load. Give the old pickup a rest and call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. 800-668-2980. Check them out on the web at gmercer.com. As we go back green here at South Boston, into turn 1, they all filter high, then come back down low out of 2. But the man out front is still Stephen Matthews.
The man who's not out front but was out front a long time ago, Ricky Arbeau, now working the outside of, I do believe, the third place car. He's already up to nearly third place. He's in fourth. He is on the outside of the 88, looking once again still door to door, still on his bumper. He's carrying a lot of momentum going into the corner. It looks like he might lose the spot. He's going to lose it. He's going to come back down trying to pull the crossover. Caution is out.
And there's a big pile up, Dakota. Turn number 3, big pile up here at South Boston, and it's going to include the likes of the 16 who was running ninth. That's John Gahan. The 34, Mike Rhino. The 20, Martin Landry. 44, Hubley. 99 of Terry. 64 of Doucette.
Starts with the 16 and the 34. So that's position 9, lap 100 going into turn number 3. 16 comes down, clips the 34. That will put both those cars around, and again, just nowhere else to go from any of the cars. Ooh, Tim Terry, hard hit. A lot of hard hits.
Big pile up there. The 6th car, Nathan Doherty, who just got his lap back, Dakota, from receiving the lucky dog last time. He came through there and drilled his Slim Jim Impala through the mix, and now he's got big trouble.
For the 3rd time tonight, we're going to try to talk to Ricky Arbeau. I have a feeling this won't be the last time we talk to him the way he's driving right now. Ricky, man, you're currently sitting 4th after going to the rear of the field and, you know, getting in that wreck earlier on. Or is your car okay first off, and can you get back around these guys?
Well, the car's fine. We got run over there. We were all right, then I got run over by someone in that first wreck. It just cosmetic. The car's fine. We got her fixed pretty quick, a little bit of duct tape, and she's just as fast. But I'm playing it safe. You know, I'm not going to push the deal. I'll let these guys race. If there's an opportunity to get the win, I'll take it. But if not, I'll take what I can get, and I want to take home top 5 and hopefully seal up my championship.
And what happened with you in the 88 to Kevin Savory a little while ago?
Oh, that was just unexpected checkup, I guess. He just got on the brakes a little bit earlier than I thought. It was my fault. I run him over. I get right on the radio while I was a little sideways and apologizing. But just close racing is all it is. It's great competition. It's hard to pass. Having a blast.
And man, what were you thinking when you have Stephen Matthews at number 98 machine on your outside door to door with you for so many laps?
Oh, that was a great time. We get on the radio after, and I was talking to him, and that was a great time. That's what this is all about. That's the way racing should be every week. That was a good show there.
All right, well, thank you, Ricky. Good luck in the rest of the race here.
And full enjoy, guys. Here we go.
Getting set for another stretch of green flag racing here. Green flag laps as the pace car gets set to dive off. Here we go. Stephen Matthews going to lead him to the green flag. Pace car is off. Stephen Matthews going right away. He's got Jake going at the door. Ricky Arbeau back there in 4th position. Here is Kevin Savory 3rd. Up front, though, Goodwin powering off the outside. He's going to be door-to-door with the 98 once again, heading into turn number 3. Still out there, but looks like I was going to say he was going to fall off, but he didn't. He's still door-to-door.
Goodwin, wow, look at that good run that he had there in 1 and 2, and now he'll take over the lead. Power move to the high side, Dakota.
And Matthews closing back in on the number 48 machine in a hurry. Savory and McKay almost make contact. There's Arbeau looking at the inside. Oh, he makes contact with McKay. McKay saves it. Oh, McKay gets the wall a little bit, but and it looks like, you know, Arbeau checking up for the 97 didn't mean to do that, so he's going to let the 97 get back in line. Doesn't want to wreck him there. Doesn't want to steal the spot that way. So he's going to, you know, just jump back in line. So I'm hearing battle for the lead. It is Goodwin and Matthews going side by side. Matthews with a huge run on the outside now will clear. Jay Goodwin. Got to wonder if that wasn't just teammates letting the other one lead a lap.
Could be. Both part of CBC Racing. And Dakota, look who's behind them again. Another teammate. 3 teammates. 1, 2, 3. CBC Racing, 1 Ford, 2 Chevys. How about that?
How about that? A Ford hanging in there.
Well, how about this? The 48 is a Chevy, we know for sure, as he now works underneath the leader teammate there, Matthews. The 88's a Ford, we know for sure. But I'm looking at the back rear end of that machine of Stephen Matthews. That could be a Dodge or a Toyota, Dakota.
Well, you would think if he's teammates with the 48, it would be a Chevy, so we'll have to double check on that.
Well, Kevin Savory's a teammate, and he's running a Ford. But at any rate, 3 teammates out front, Dakota. That really speaks volumes here at South Boston Speedway, especially that we're about somewhere in the neighborhood of about 36, 37 laps to go.
It is a Chevy on the front end of that car, if you actually look at it there, Keaton. But, yeah, just a little over, I do want to say, yeah, about 35 or so laps remaining.
Still single file, all 3 of them up there, Dakota, but the battle starting to shape up here for 6th and 7th, where Tracy Foster and Vic Greenwood meet. Remember, Vic Greenwood sitting 6th in points out of Cavendish, Prince Edward Island, 56 years of age. Average start 18th, average finish 11th. He works underneath him, and here comes the double deuce. Keith Mack now under Tracy Foster to the deuce.
New leader up front, Kevin Savory. Where did he come from? He's now around Matthews. Goodwin's going back on the outside, backwards. McKay back to, he's up to 3rd. And Arbeau, he's underneath Goodwin.
How about that? 3 teammates have led at least 1 lap tonight. If Kevin Savory can take care of this lap, he'll lead 2. And eventually, hopefully, maybe he'll get into the double digits where he may pick up a win.
Hey, he's just got to hang in there. Just about, I do want to say, about 30 laps remaining. 33, I believe. Savory leads the way once again.
But, Dakota, the top 5 are right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't stick a car between... Oh, no! 97, Ronald McKay just killed Ralph's car. He hit him a ton, Dakota. Did you catch it?
I did, and now all I see is... I saw the car going down into the wall, but now all I see is Goodwin and McKay going at it. Looks like the car might have pulled off track.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, he's way at the bottom slow, and he stopped on the track. Caution will come out because he has stopped on the track.
And now we're hearing, as he did that, Dakota, coming to the start-finish line there, we've seen the black flag come out for Ralph in the 25 car.
That's not the black flag. That's the disqualification flag, Keaton. He has been disqualified by race officials.
And what color is the disqualification flag?
It's red and black, checkered flag.
Red and black, wow. The red and black flag for the first time tonight being thrown by the flagman, who's been quite busy with the yellows and greens for Mr. Ralph. But, you know, he was trying to get out of the way, Dakota, but again, you know, when you... coming out of turn 4 there, he was still on the bottom there in the front stretch, way under pace speed there, and they just deemed it necessary that to throw that black and red flag out.
Well, he could have been trying to get out of the way, or he could have, you know, been hanging in there and you know, looking for maybe a little bit of payback or something. You never know, but you know, as J.D. Laird would say, rolling chicane on the track, and I believe that's why they disqualified him. They said it wasn't safe to have him on track if he was stopped on track. They want to get him off the track. Caution's out. You know, if he's already caused the caution just sitting there, you might as well pull him off track for the rest of the night just in case.
So that will bring an interesting caution out to this event, Dakota, with about 25 to go, or 27 to go currently, possibly 25 or just under 25 when we get back green at the Gary Mercer 150. It's almost over, almost in the books, and then we'll have 2 more official races to go, and then it's the big finale, the All-Star race at the end.
I'm really excited to see the All-Star race. I do believe it was, I think Tim Terry said 6th back to 15th are not locked in to the shootout, and they have a fan vote. That's points-wise. They have a fan vote for that, where you can actually vote for that coming soon. I want to say in about 2 weeks or so. You can vote on that fan vote on the, I believe it's the Tim's Corner Motorsports Facebook page. Look them up. A lot of likes on that page, over 700, I want to say. Definitely a popular page, and you should be able to find it. But now, green flag back out. Kevin Savory leading the way with Steve Matthews on the outside. Oh, Matthews, huge run.
With 25 to go. And there they are, 2 teammates side by side in turn 3. Matthews to the high side, Savory to the bottom, and here comes McKay, going to try to split the teammates up. Can't quite do it.
Oh! McKay! Oh! Arbo! Matthews!
Ooh!
All kinds of cars wrecked there. Starts with the leaders. It's Savory gets turned by a teammate.
And Dakota, all it takes is an inch. And that was an inch.
That was the inch he didn't have there as he's coming up, thinks he's clear. Again, this is the leader, the 88 of Kevin Savory, lap 126, coming off of turn number 2. Coming off turn number 4. Just comes up and trying to clear the 88 of Kevin Savory, or not the 88, but the 98 of Steve Matthews. Thinks he's clear, comes up and not quite clear. He'll run right up into the 98 of Steve Matthews.
So that's going to change some things. Ricky Arbo down on pit road, Dakota. That car looks very toast.
Very, very unfortunate. Got the points leader down there, 4th position, and was 4th position, now on pit road.
Now the 97 of McKay is still being shown the leader.
But you know, these late models can take a hit, so it might not be over quite from here for some of these guys.
It's not over till the fat lady sings, Dakota. But I tell you what, she's on the stage, backstage, warming up.
She kind of warming up back there. And Keaton having, again, technical problems on our end, but tell you what, pacing here once again. Why don't we? Oh, we're not going to do that. We're gonna stick around here. Why don't we try to get Ronald McKay on the radio, see what he thinks of what just happened, and his plans to see if he can get a victory lane. He's now in the perfect position. So what better guy to ask about what's going to happen here than Ronald McKay? And Ronald McKay, this is Dakota Erman up on the broadcast booth from ETV Live. You got a copy, man?
Yeah, go ahead.
Man, you had a front row seat to that incident. Now you're sitting with the lead, man. What was that like? What happened in the incident, do you think? And can you win this thing?
Yeah, those look like some close racing to me. Somebody misjudged a little bit, and just one of them things. I don't know if we got a car to win or not. We got some damage there back in the pack, and the front end's not real good right now. Car got real tight, so we'll see what happens, boys. Going back to green.
All right, Ron. Good luck, man. And getting set for green flag racing. Ronald McKay going to lead us to the green flag. Pace car is off. Ronald McKay taking off. Green flag is out. Here he goes, McKay, leading Jay Goodwin into turn number 1. How about Tracy Foster back there, sitting in 4th position, battling Keith Mack.
The deuce, battling the double deuce. In the turn 4 they come out of. The orange and white machine belongs to the double deuce. The black machine belongs to the deuce. 1, 2, 3, 4. Caution back out again, Dakota. Big pile up down the front stretch, and this one's going to take about 6 other cars out.
Yeah, Tim Terry taken out there. He was 12th position, looks like. Coming off of, I do want to say this is going to be turn number 4, lap 120. Yeah, this is turn number 4, lap 120. Tim Terry, 12th position, coming out on the outside lane. Looks like the 16 just comes straight up into him and turns him around. This is 16 of John Gahan, who was in 9th position. Just unable to hold the car down, a little bit of damage or something maybe, and we'll put the 99 around in front of the field here.
How about this? Look at the 98 machine, 5th spot, smoking. Big time, heavy smoke.
Made contact in that wreck, a lot of contact in that wreck, and he's dog tracking as well. His night might as well be over, I do believe. Ricky Arbeau was currently 2 to 3 laps down. He is currently in 8th. He's still going, but he is dog tracking big time. If we can get a camera on the 61, man, badly hurt car here.
Oh yeah, he's definitely limping around the track. But you know what? You got to stay out there and pick up the positions as much as possible. Remember, folks, only 4 drivers currently on the lead lap, that being Ronald McKay first, Jake Goodwin second, Keith Mack third, and Tracy Foster fourth. Stephen Matthews is the first one down. Now move that one up to Landry, who's now 1 lap down in 5th.
We will have a very, very few amount of laps left when we get green flag racing. 14 laps remaining currently, and we're not green flag racing yet, so we will have 13 or less. Michael Keaton.
Time is running out, Dakota. Who will pick up the victory? Will it be Ronald McKay? 2 in a row for him at South Boston possibly tonight. Or could it be Jake Goodwin, who finished 3rd and started on the pole last time out at South Boston? Also, fastest lap of the race, Jake Goodwin set last time at South Boston. So these 2 guys on the point here, Dakota, both CBC Racing teammates. Going to restart 1 and 2.
And how about 3 and 4? Position 3 and 4, that is. That's Keith Mack and Tracy Foster, the deuce in the double deuce, as Keaton likes to call them. And man, how about this number 2? We saw him, I think the first time he impressed me was the Lanier, the first race of the season, when he raced in the B main after dominating that race. Just did a fantastic job starting from the front, I do believe. Won the race, and ever since then he kind of runs mid-pack, and I really am surprised with some of the runs he's had lately. Doing a fantastic job in the 2 machine, keeping it out front, or keeping it just clean tonight has put him out front in the end at the late goings here. So green flag is back out, pace car is off, Ronald McKay is rolling away once again here, Michael Keaton.
Single file here, Dakota. 48 machine, 2nd place, right behind him, about car length behind. And then there's Keith Mack, about car length behind the 48. So 1, 2, 3, 4 cars on the lead lap. Don Steves is the next guy behind them. He's showing 15th, 35 down.
Looking up front, the battle for the lead. 10 laps remaining, 9 at the line. Jake Goodwin is falling off of Ronald McKay. Ronald McKay is going. He's got the car rotating. You'll see Jake Goodwin nailing the corner entry, but losing a lot on corner exit where it really matters.
Keith Mack nearly getting into the back bumper of the 48 machine of Goodwin. That might be what it takes, Dakota, to shove him out of the way, possibly. Keith Mack again on probation. Got to be careful. The deuce of Tracy Foster, however, not on probation, so he can shove the Mack machine out of the way if he wants to. Can he catch him?
We'll have to watch here. Just 6, 7 laps remaining, 6 at the line. Still going. McKay is still leading over Goodwin. Goodwin being trailed by Keith Mack. And how about Tracy Foster still sitting in the 4th position? Mark Landry sitting 5th. And he is the last car on the lead lap, 7.1 seconds behind the leader. Vic Greenwood showing 6, 2 laps down. Ricky Arbeau 7th, 3 laps down. John Gahan 8th, 7 laps down. Stephen Matthews 9th, 10 laps down off the track. And 10th will be Kevin Savory, 17 laps down.
Still, the way they restarted, Dakota, 1, 2, 3, 4. McKay being out front. Goodwin 2nd, Keith Mack 3rd. Although Tracy Foster almost put a nose under Mack there in turns 1. Couldn't quite get the car momentum ahead of him to do it. As he now dives into turn 3, still can't do it, so he'll stay 4th.
He's still hanging in 3 laps remaining here at South Boston Speedway. You'll watch the number 48. Why don't we get in car with the number 97 here? Let's take a lap around the track with the 97 in the closing laps here. Lap 148. You'll watch this 97 coming across the line there. I mean, he's really working the wheel there. You can actually see he's got a lot of wheel input into the car. Actually, here you see it kind of. He's not even straightening out the wheel in a straightaway. You'll see him still turning back and forth, trying to keep the car straight. Really using the apron to turn in the corner. But here we come. White flag. Gonna go ahead and let John do his thing with the cameras. White flag is out. Oh, Arbeau's slow on the track. He's gonna be right in front of McKay. And good one getting around both Arbeau. Both of them getting around Arbeau. But here it comes to the checkered flag. Ronald McKay, who will win in South Boston. Gary Mercer trucking 150. Jake Goodwin coming home in second. Keith Mack in third. And I do believe that we have Tracy Foster in fourth and Martin Landry rounding out the top 5.
And then Vic Greenwood, 6th. Ricky Arbeau will finish 7th. John Gahan will finish 8th. Stephen Matthews, 9th. Justin Doucette, 10th. Tim Terry will finish 11th. Kevin Severy, 12th. Nathan Doherty, 13th. Doug Hubley, 14th. Don Steves, 15th. Mike Rhino, 16th. Jeff Gilmore, not happy, 17th. Blake Cullycutt, 18th. Ralph will finish 19th. Jeff Gilmet, 20th. Jarrett Butcher, 21st. 22nd belonged to Chuck Morehouse. Dakota Craig Weagle was 23rd. Dylan Blankhorn was your 24th place car.
And joining us on the radio, actually, Ronald McKay, winner of tonight's race. Ronald, man, what a race for you. Hanging in there at the end, you got around the wrecks. I mean, just right place at the right time, it seemed like, at the end. Had the best car on the track at the end with everybody wrecked, and just being up front, man, you was able to outpower Jake Goodwin. What a win for you. What was it like, the closing laps there?
Yeah, the car wasn't bad at the end there. Like you say, I don't know if it was just because everybody had so much damage or what, but we got a bit of damage there about halfway through the run and knocked the front end out, and the car got a push. But it was a little snug getting in the corner, but getting off, it was really good. So I just changed the way I was getting in the corner, and it all worked out in the end. The car was pretty good there at the end there. I don't think there was anybody had anything for us there the last couple of laps, but it was a pretty good race, actually. Pretty entertaining for where I was sitting.
All right, Ron, and man, you're going to just about 2 races remaining until the All-Star race. Are you looking forward to these next 2 races?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Lanier race. I'm not a big fan of Oxford, but we'll go there and see if we can put on a decent show. It's a good place to watch a race there. We don't really have anything too good for there, but we'll work on it through the week and see how we make out. But really looking forward to that 200 lapper in Lanier.
All right, man, and who makes it happen for you here finally?
Well, first of all, CBC Racing, all the boys. We all work pretty hard together and getting these cars working. And Dartmouth Dodge, Tim's Corner Motorsports, Target Hydraulics, all them guys are a big help.
All right. Thank you, Ronald. Ronald McKay. I'm going to go ahead and let you get out of here, man, and get to celebrating. But I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and step away, take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with the rest of your post-race show.
custom built and 50 caliber strong. Simulation racing products like button boxes, shifter pedals, component parts, and more. The advantage a championship sim racing driver needs. Rated 10 out of 10 by Inside Sim Racing TV. Check out his line of top shelf sim racing products reasonably priced at DerekSpearDesigns.com and buckle in for a no-nonsense ride. DerekSpearDesigns.com today, cowboy.
And we're back live at South Boston Speedway with your post-race show. And joining us, the second place finisher here tonight, Jake Goodwin. Jake, man, what a run for you. Able to bring it home in the second position. Good job, man.
Yeah, thanks. It was definitely a fun and interesting race, that's for sure.
And how about that final wreck between teammates there?
Just close racing. That stuff happens.
Hey, man, how'd you manage to get through that little wreck there and able to finish second?
They just wrecked up high and I went down low, I think, and got lucky.
You got anything for these guys in the final two races of the season here?
Hopefully. I like to get an early start on the setup, so probably start working on that sometime soon.
Alright, Jake, will we see you in the All-Star race?
Yeah, I guess so.
Alright, pal, I'm going to ask who makes it happen for you.
I'd like to thank CBC Racing.
Alright, well, thank you, Jake. It was your second place finisher. Now joining us, TV Tim Terry is what we're going to call him. I think you saw during the post-race show as we were taking a commercial break there before the rest of the post-race show. Tim, I don't know what he was doing, but Tim Terry, man, welcome to the post-race show.
I was just getting what was left of that car. That thing, I felt bad for bringing out that caution. I was battling with Nathan and Vic and everybody else that was in front of him, and I kind of got impatient, got on the throttle a little bit too hard and spun it out. Decided to get out of the leader's way, but not before the caution came out. I got to tow back to the pit, and then it ensued from there. I got ARCA braked, I got pushed into a wreck, and then I got pushed into another wreck, and ended up having 18 minutes of optional damage. So I got down, fixed what I could, and came home with whatever place I came in.
Alright, man, and talk to us a little bit about the voting that can be done with on the Tim's Corner Motorsports page here in a few weeks for the All-Star race.
That's actually going to start next week after the race at Oxford. It's the top 10 drivers that aren't currently locked into the All-Star race essentially coming into this race. It was 6th on back through 15th. I'm sure you guys covered it. Vic, Tracy, Mike Rhino, Mark Williams, Martin Landry, Nathan Doherty, Kevin Savory, Doug Hubhley, Travis Roma, and Jeff Gilmet. And those drivers will have the opportunity. Their fans can go to facebook.com/Tim's Corner starting next week and vote for their favorite driver, and the winning vote getter, the leading vote getter, will make their way into the All-Star race. Given that they run the Open to try to make their way into it, they have to make the attempt to race their way in. But it's going to be exciting. I'm hoping to get there, but I'm so many points back, I'm going to need a couple of people in those top 10 to lock in. So I'm the biggest Vic Greenwood fan. I was cheering Tracy on a little bit earlier, and Martin, and those guys. Kevin Savory was leading the race for a little while, so I was cheering for those guys to try to lock themselves into the top 3, so I had a chance at the fan vote. But I guess we'll see next week. Oxford's a whole different beast.
It totally is, but thank you, man, and I'll give you a chance to any shout-outs you got, man.
I just want to thank James Gutta for painting the paint scheme. J.D. Laird puts in a lot of work to this league. I want to thank him. The admins that pour in after the race and look at the race and look at the cautions, they have their work cut out for them tonight, I'm sure. There was a lot of wrecks in this one. I'm sure they'll do their job, and we might see a couple of guys on the bench next week when we head to the Oxford Plains Speedway. But I want to thank DeWalt Power Tools, Stompin' Tom Connors on the hood, and also want to say hi to Lindsay. Say hi to her, and then we'll load her up and go to Oxford. We had a great run at Oxford last year, so I'm hoping to repeat that top 5 finish.
All right, Tim, and this just in from my executive producer. $50 and the whole ETV crew will have you'll have our vote.
Oh, okay. Well, I have to make it into the vote first, guys. Thanks for that, though.
Well, there you have it. But again. I believe we have about 2 more races, and then we have the All-Star race. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you tune in next week, again, 6:50 p.m. Eastern Time for more racing at Oxford Speedway with the Maritime iRacing League short track racing. A lot of fun, some of the best short track racing around. But for all of us here tonight, I am Dakota Rimmer, again, joined by Michael Keaton, John Westling, J.D. Webb, Jerry Wolf, and Phil Foltz. We'll catch you next week.